there should be more conversation about this very sponsored website. Hello, welcome back to Classics with a Quirk, where I talk about contemporary and luxury designer items and brands with a touch of silliness. This is the kind of content that you find interesting. Please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. Now, I just recently made a video about buying and unboxing a beautiful YSL mini Lou from FARFETCH, and I will link that video above and below for you because the unboxing video and what was and what wasn't included in the box is kind of relevant to this video, which is a follow-up to that. I did unbox this beautiful mini Lou camera bag from YSL in this amazing candy green color. I love this green. I think it's a beautiful color. I think the bag is beautiful. Bought it from FARFETCH, as I just said. I was able to use a 10% off discount code, and bonus, I bought this bag just before the YSL price increase that made this bag $200 more expensive. However, when I did unbox this bag, I was very surprised to find that a couple of things seemed a little bit off. First of all, the bag itself wasn't packaged very well. I did mention this all in my previous video, obviously, because that was the unboxing, but I'm just summing it up really quick here. The bag wasn't packaged very well. It was wrapped in tissue paper, but the chain was sort of tucked inside the bag and was knotted up. The tassel itself is a little bit bent, and that wasn't protected at all, as you can see. The dust bag was very beat up looking. It's got all these wrinkles on it. It's covered in sort of debris. Looks used, and the bag itself didn't come with any paperwork. It didn't come with any FARFETCH paperwork aside from the little remove this tag, own the bag from FARFETCH, but it didn't come with the YSL paperwork. It didn't come with the care card. It didn't come with the authenticity card, which a number of people in the comments of my video said that yes, YSL bags are supposed to come with those things. So I was very confused and a little concerned that the new bag that I had bought from FARFETCH, I purchased this new, I was expecting a new item, didn't come with the things that a new item is supposed to come with. Now, as some of you might know, a lot of my channel is about this. I buy a lot of preloved items. I buy preloved Chanel, I buy preloved Louis Vuitton, I rehab preloved Louis Vuitton, and I really like preloved items and I like vintage pieces. And when it comes to used preloved pieces, I don't mind as much if I don't get like the full package. I do prefer to buy, for instance, Chanel bags with the authenticity card, but I don't need everything. I don't need the box and the dust bag and the camellia on my preloved items, especially if the bag is older. But this was a new bag, and as a new bag, I expected it to come with all the new bag things, especially the YSL authenticity card, which is important to me as a collector. Do I plan to sell this bag or plan to sell any of the bags I buy? No, not really, but is there a chance that I might want to? Yeah, there is a chance, and if I do ever want to sell bags, I would prefer to have the full set in order to pass it along to the next owner. And this didn't come with that as a new purchase, as I keep saying, so I was sort of confused by that. Now, a number of you mentioned in the comments that you had also had sort of mixed experiences with FARFETCH, and I will say that I went into purchasing from FARFETCH under the impression that it would be a wonderful experience, would go off without a hitch. I would get everything beautifully packaged, it would arrive to me, I'd unbox it, it would be fun, I'd get the bag I wanted, no problem. Mostly I've heard about FARFETCH from YouTubers and influencers who are sponsored by FARFETCH, and I am absolutely not sponsored by FARFETCH. This is not a sponsored video in any way, shape, or form. They have no idea who I am, except they possibly do now, at least in some capacity, which I will get into in a moment. But I just was sharing my own experience as a regular FARFETCH customer who is not sponsored by them, was not paid to talk about them, and getting sort of a weird, first experience. And some of you said that you had had the same thing. You got bags that were not packaged well, or they weren't packaged with all the things they were supposed to come with. The boxes were too small or too big, just weird experiences, and not one that you would expect from such a global, very supposedly reputable source of luxury goods. Luxury goods, expensive things. Like, we expect a little bit more from those kinds of purchases. We're not just buying something off eBay from a random seller. FARFETCH is a very well-known worldwide boutique sourcing system. So you kind of expect good service. So a number of you also encouraged me to contact FARFETCH, which I did, and I contacted them through email so that I had written record of the back and forth of what happened, my experience. And so I first started off, I sent them an email saying, I went to their contact page actually and contacted them through that. I put in my order number, my code, what I bought, and I said, basically I received an item that didn't have all the things it was supposed to come with. Based on how the item was packaged and the bent tassel and the dust bag, I was not convinced that I had gotten a new item. I kind of suspected it was a return. And even if it was a return, I have no problem with returns really. If somebody returns an item, you want that item to still be purchased, otherwise it goes in the garbage. So I don't have a problem with getting a returned item, but I do want that returned item to be in good shape and come with all the things it's supposed to. And that's really what my thought was stuck on. Like, it didn't come with the things it was supposed to, and it wasn't in the best of shape considering. So I contacted them, and this is what I got back in response. The first email I got was about 24 hours after I had sent the email. So, decent amount of return time. Hi, thank you for contacting FARFETCH. We're home to authentic luxury pieces. You made a great choice choosing the Saint Laurent Mini Lou quilted bag. Our selection is expertly curated from the best luxury fashion around the globe. As an authorized online platform for every FARFETCH partner, we can assure you that all products available on our site are 100% authentic. So a form letter. So far I received a form letter. When you order with us, your package will be carefully prepared in a FARFETCH box and sent to you exactly as the partner received it from the brand. Additional branded items such as brand boxes, dust bags, and authenticity cards will be included by the designer. If the designer didn't include this accessory, the partner will ship the item as it was given to them. I understand this is far from the experience you wanted from FARFETCH. Nonetheless, we are here to assist you if you no longer wish to keep the item. We can initiate the return here on our end. Should you require further assistance, let me know. So, a form letter, almost entirely a form letter, because it didn't, address some of the specific issues that I had mentioned. It was just, form letter, we're sorry, things are sent this way, and if you don't like it, you can return it. All right, well, here's the thing. If I don't want to return it, what do I do then? Because I expected the option of like return and repurchase. That's kind of what I expected, especially considering that FARFETCH is like a sourcing system. They don't have stock. They source their items from other boutiques. So I expected that they would tell me, okay, return this and then rebuy it. And hopefully when you rebuy it, you'll get a better experience that time from the seller. But I bought this on discount, remember, or not on discount. I bought this pre-price increase. And in the few days, like it was only a couple of days between me buying this item and me receiving this item, the item went up by $200. So I don't want to return this and repurchase it because I don't want to spend an extra $200 on an item that, had it arrived with everything, I wouldn't necessarily need to return and repurchase, So I didn't particularly want to do that. So that's what I responded. So I responded to this email pretty much as soon as I got it. I didn't wait a day or anything. I responded to it right away. And I said, I understand that I have the option to return the bag for a refund, but is it possible to do an exchange? I am not comfortable with receiving an item that did not include an authenticity card when YSL items do come with one, but I do like the item and would like the opportunity to receive one with the paperwork it is supposed to come with. Further, the tassel on the bag is bent and the dust bag is wrinkled. I'm not confident that I was sent a new item, which is true. Of note, there was nothing at all in the box aside from the bag. I didn't even get a receipt from FARFETCH or the retailer, nor did I get a return label. Thank you. Which is true. I was very surprised to not even receive any paperwork at all. Usually you expect to get something, and FARFETCH does state on their website that they send items with return labels, so I was expecting to get at least that, and I didn't. And 2 days passed and I didn't get any response. And finally what I did was I went back to FARFETCH's website and sent another email through their website saying, hey, I sent an email and I haven't gotten a response yet, and it's been a couple of days and I only have 14 days. FARFETCH has a 14-day return policy. So you only have 14 days to make a decision on returning. And also, I didn't know what was going to happen with purchasing and rebuying or exchanging. I wanted to address the issue as soon as possible. Now, I do understand that especially right now, there's a lot of stuff up in the air in terms of customer service and communication. They might not have staff. So I wasn't angry. I was just kind of frustrated with the general circumstance of the situation. So I did send them another email, and almost as soon as I sent that, I received this, which was, hi, thanks for holding for our reply. We're sorry we are unable to do exchanges, which I did sort of expect to get. Please know that since Farfetch does not hold any stock, we do not have an exchange policy, and as the items may come from different boutiques located all over the world, we can assist you with a return for a refund, however, and invite you to place a new order. I understand this is not an ideal solution for you, but unfortunately our only option is a refund for a full return. Since the bag is bent, I advise you to initiate a return and will issue your refund once the bag is in transit to the boutique. If you wish to buy a new bag, we can refund you in store credit, and the refund will be immediately available for you to spend instead of the 14 days if the refund is issued to the original payment method. Let me know what you think. If you wish to return it, I will initiate the return in the system, etc., etc. So, okay. I did expect this. I did expect them to say that we don't do exchanges, but return and rebuy. And so I responded with, my issue with doing a return and rebuying the bag is that it appears to have gone up in price in the few days it took for my bag to arrive. I also used a discount code to buy this item. If I was issued a store credit to repurchase the bag, would the credit cover the new price in full? I don't feel it's fair to be required to pay over a $200 difference for an item I otherwise would have kept were it in the condition I expected it to be in buying a new bag. So I thought that was fair. I thought that asking them to cover the difference in cost made sense because, again, if I didn't have the issue with the bag missing accessories, I wouldn't need to return and rebuy it. And if I didn't need to return and rebuy it, the fact that it went up by $200 wouldn't have been an issue. So I needed that to be covered, obviously, if that was something that I was going to do. Otherwise, it didn't make sense to spend an additional $200 to buy the same bag that was the same bag. I mean, I thought that I was being reasonable. I wasn't being mean or touchy. I just thought that that was something that needed to be addressed. And then I waited again, and I waited again, and 2 days passed and I didn't get a response. And finally, after 2 days, I got, "Hi, we haven't heard from you yet. I'm still looking forward to your feedback." Copy pasted the exact email they had sent and then said, "Kindly note that if we don't hear from you within the next 48 hours, we'll have to solve this query. Withal, you may always reopen it with a reply." So I don't know what happened there. I don't know why they didn't receive my answer, and I waited 2 days only for them to say, "Hey, what's going on?" So I said my previous reply went unanswered to repeat, and I just copy pasted what my email said, the exact thing. And then I did get a response quite soon after that, the same day essentially, thank goodness, because again, this took almost a week. The back and forth took almost 7 days, and again, you only have 14 days to return things to Farfetch. So I kind of wanted to, get on this and figure it out, because I also wasn't certain that I wanted to keep the bag, because of other reasons that I will get into, but I did want to straighten out, everything and find out how Farfetch was going to address the issue at all. Because how Farfetch responded to me kind of did color how I thought about the website and the retailer from then on. And so the story continues now, which their final response, and the one that I am currently with, is: if you decide to return the bag and place a new order, please know we will offer you a replacement code for the one used on your order. Since the bag is faulty, if you want to place a new order, we can refund you the difference in price up to $250. The refund can be issued in store credit or back to your original payment method. If you decide to be credited back to your payment method, we will only be able to issue this credit after you place the order. Let me know if this solution is suitable to you. All right, you know what? That is satisfactory to me. Ultimately, their response was, we understand that there is a price difference now in the bag from when you purchased it to the 3 days after, which, I did get this right under the price increase, which is one of the reasons I bought the bag. So we will issue you a credit or a refund to your original payment method. And from what I got from the email, essentially, I understood that I would return the bag and then I would rebuy it at the new price, but they would credit me $250, so I wouldn't have to pay $250 of that price, which does cover the increased price and tax, or they would issue me a credit of $250 on my initial payment. So I would pay for the bag, and then on my original payment method, they'd give me $250 in a refund. So it would also still cover the additional $200 that the bag costs, plus, again, tax. I also kind of like the idea that if I did get a refund and then repurchase, I would still be able to use a different credit card if I so chose. So I'd be able to, repurchase on a different credit card but get the payment refund on. So, you know, it works out. It works out. I was satisfied with that solution. I wish it hadn't taken almost a week for us to come to that solution and me having to sort of push for it, you know. I do wish that I hadn't had to continually email them back and forth, but I did ultimately get a satisfactory answer. I did have somebody recommend that I call them, and I would have, honestly, I would have called them first to get this straightened out. But since I was going to make a follow-up YouTube video, I did want to have it in writing what their responses were and what the initial response was and the final response was. I just wanted, you know, actual physical evidence of how that, you know, happened, how that worked out. So ultimately, yes, I was comfortable with their result. And so what I would do if I was going to keep the bag was I would probably just, you know, repurchase it. You know, I'd send it back, repurchase it. If I was going to get a credit, you know, it doesn't matter to me because I would have wanted to keep the bag anyway. So returning it and rebuying it, as long as I was covered for the increased price, I was fine. Would I purchase from FARFETCH again considering that experience? I think yes. I wasn't super pleased with how the bag was packaged and, you know, the missing accessories, but they did ultimately solve the problem to a satisfactory degree. They were pleasant, if not punctual, you know, necessarily, but I also still understand the fact that things, you know, slip through the cracks. There's probably staffing issues right now. A lot's going on. It's also the holiday season, so they're probably inundated with customer problems or responses or calls. So I do get it. I do understand. Especially when dealing with customer service, I think it's important to be pleasant, if at all possible. Even when you're losing patients, just be pleasant. It's not their fault. Half the time they are, as evidence, like following a script or doing form letters because that's what they're supposed to do. So I understand, and that was just part of the experience. And yeah, all said and done, I think I would purchase from FARFETCH again. I don't have any qualms with how they resolved the issue. And again, absolutely not sponsored. This is just my genuine opinion and experience with them as a paying customer and not as a sponsored influencer or YouTuber, you know what I mean? So that was fine. I think that was fine. And if you think that something should have been different or they should have addressed it differently, please let me know. Or if you've dealt with FARFETCH and they did a different method or more satisfactory, less satisfactory, please do share your experiences with FARFETCH. I think that there should be more conversation about this very sponsored website, like a lot of YouTubers talk about it are sponsored. I think there could stand to be more conversation about us actual paying customers and clients who deal with it as people who don't get special treatment. You know, I think that that's important to talk about. However, I do also want to talk about this bag and what my ultimate decision was in terms of keeping it, because that is something that also had to cross my mind a lot. I've had this bag since I bought it, obviously. I think this bag is so beautiful, and it is probably one of my favorite colors that YSL has ever come up with, especially in this candy green color. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I do like the bag. I think that it's a pretty shape. I think that it sits nicely on me. I think it falls at a good height. The tassel actually doesn't bother me as much as I expected it to. I kind of thought the tassel would be annoying, and part of the reason I bought the bag was to try the bag out and see how I liked it in person. I think it's cute. I think it's a good size, and again, I think it is a beautiful color. But I mentioned in my previous video, the unboxing video, that I had been debating between this bag and the YSL wristlet that is available actually only on Neiman Marcus. It's a funny thing about YSL and some bag brands in general that different items and different colors will be available on different retailers. And Neiman Marcus, as far as I can tell, is the only website, only retailer, even including FARFETCH, is the only retailer that carries the specific bracelet I like in the color that I want, this color. I can only find it on Neiman Marcus in this color for that wristlet. And I really like that wristlet. I think it's a beautiful shape. I like the fact that it is a wristlet, and I like the fact that it's fairly easy to convert YSL wristlets into, you know, wallet on chain crossbody bags. I had a lovely commenter let me know that they are able to fit a lot in their wristlet, and the few videos that I was able to find about that specific wristlet, you know, you can fit a lot in it. And I think it would fit a satisfactory amount of items for me, that it would be very useful. And I like the idea of being able to just pop it on my wrist if I want to just go into something or out of something really quick, or I think it would be very versatile. And I like that it is a little bit more versatile than a camera bag, having a wristlet and the option for a crossbody strap, a clutch. You know, I think that is a very well-rounded piece. And I think it would be such a good, well-rounded piece in that beautiful candy green color because you could use it for a variety of different occasions. Like I really liked it and I was really focused on that wristlet. And the more I had this back and forth contact with FARFETCH about the Mini Lou, the more that I talked about this bag specifically, the more I realized I really wanted that wristlet. And I really wanted that wristlet more than I wanted the Mini Lou. I like this bag a lot, but if I had to choose between this bag and the wristlet, I would choose the wristlet. And that is a pretty big important thing for me. It's very important sometimes to realize that just because I have something I like and want, if there's something I like or want more, I don't necessarily have to have both. I don't have to have all the things. Those of you who do want to have all the things, like absolutely power to you. I'm not a minimalist either. Like I have a collection of handbags. I think that they're beautiful. I like collecting beautiful things. But it is sometimes something that I think about, which is, do I need it, want it enough to own it? Or do I just want to admire it and I don't need to own it to admire it? I think that that is important for me, at least, in terms of like the idea of purse piece, which is also something I made a video on a while back. I'll link it if you're interested. I don't need to have everything. Sometimes I can just admire something and think it's beautiful in other people, or I can build up to owning it. And one day maybe I might want to get this again, but I think at this point I'd prefer to have the wristlet. I'd rather have the wristlet than have this. And if there's something I want more, it doesn't make sense to keep the one I have if I have the option to return it at this time. Now, if I was interested in rebuying this color and this bag, and I had the opportunity to rebuy this bag in this color, because YSL discontinues colors all the time, I don't even know if this bag is going to be available in this color in a month, a year, whatever. Will I feel like I missed out? I don't know. But I do know still that I like the wristlet more and I'd rather have the wristlet. So I am comfortable returning this and getting something that I want more. Now, do I think that I'd keep this if the wristlet wasn't a thing? Yes, I do. Absolutely. I think it is a gorgeous color. I think it's a very cute bag. I think it's a cute style. I think it looks good and is very functional. Like, I think the Mini Lou is a very good bag. But since I want something more, at this point, it doesn't make sense to keep it since I'm a little lukewarm about it in comparison to the other thing that I want a lot. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, please feel free to let me know. But if you understand or even maybe empathize with kind of how I'm thinking about it, like I really appreciate your comments and your input on that. But yeah, I think it's so gorgeous, but I rather would have the wristlet. I want to have the wristlet. And I think that's fine. I think that's okay. I think that I'm allowed to change my mind. That's, you know, our prerogative as people, as humans, and I'm still within my return window. Do I feel a little bit bad about returning it after I kind of had that whole interaction with FARFETCH customer service? I'm trying not to because, you know, these are luxury goods. These are very expensive goods, and it is their jobs to make sure that we are able to be satisfied with what we buy. And as long as you're not mean or, you know, unkind about interacting with them, it's kind of okay, I think, to ask for a little more if you need a little bit more. But also, you know, it's my money. And ultimately, if I don't want to keep something, especially something that's super expensive, it makes more sense to return it than keep it because I feel a little bit bad. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about FOMO. Like, I think that in part, I bought this bag specifically because of FOMO. Yes, I love the color. Yes, I like the style. But did I buy it in part because I knew it was going up by $200 very, very soon, and I was just like, better get it now? Absolutely. That is one of the reasons I made this purchase. I had been thinking about it for a while. I jumped on it because I wanted to beat the price increase, and now that I have it, I'm satisfied with having tried it on and knowing that, yes, it's gorgeous, and the more I look at it, the more I like it, but I do know I would like and use the wristlet more, and so that's why I'm okay with returning this one. I mean, if you think that I'm making a mistake and it's clear that I love this bag and I shouldn't be returning it, please let me know. But I will also say that there are other bags and items on my radar right now that I am interested in purchasing, and I'm happy to have the wristlet in this color and those bags over having this and the wristlet or this and those bags. You know, I'm trying to like portion out my interested pieces so I don't try to like hoard everything Not that there's anything wrong with hoarding if you're able to, but I don't particularly want to hoard everything. I'd rather be a little bit more discerning in my personal collection, and I think, you know, that's what works for me. Do I want to return it? Not so much. I don't. I don't know. I do want the wristlet. I don't know if it feels a little bit silly to buy both. If I am able to afford both, I have a few more days to decide about returning it or exchanging it. So, I mean, if you want to share input, I am getting this video out as soon as possible. So it's Tuesday today. I'm getting the video out on Wednesday, and I have until next week, so like next Wednesday, to make a decision. So if you have something to share or an opinion to share about whether or not I should return this and buy the wristlet, or keep it and buy the wristlet, I would appreciate it, because I clearly am waffling, and I tend to do that. I tend to waffle on my choices, which is just something that I do tend to do. And I sometimes miss out on things because I waffle, or I do more or too much or too little because I waffle. It's something that I'm working on, but especially with expensive things, since I've only just recently in the last few years started to give myself permission to buy more of them and to grow my collection, it's still a little bit scary to buy so many things so fast, especially since I have been buying a fair amount, especially in this last half of the year. You know, I've made a couple of purchases. I've had some other unboxes on my channel. I do have some items that I am planning to get in the next few months, if not in the next like year, half year, something like that. I do have an updated wish list video that I'm going to be getting out probably at the beginning of 2022, if not a little bit earlier. I'll see. I do have an updated 2021 wish list that's going to be going up in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe for more content, by the way, if you're interested in like this type of thing, luxury content, but also just sort of chatty videos. I do a lot of both, and I think it's a fun channel, or I think it's a fun channel, so I'd be really happy to bring you into the fold as well. And I love having discussions, so please feel free to keep up the discussion. But back to the, you know, the wristlet. I do want to say that is a little bit frustrating, because since I bought the Mini Lou camera bag, I didn't purchase the wristlet during Neiman Marcus's gift card event, where you spent a certain amount of money and you got a gift card for X amount of money. The wristlet was included in the gift card event, and I didn't buy it, and now I'm sort of like, I should have bought it just then. Neiman Marcus is currently having a different sale that, you know, you buy a certain amount of items, you get a certain amount of money off. But the thing is, YSL is never included in monetary discounts anymore. They're just included in like gift card events. So I missed it. So it's not currently on sale. However, the on sale gift card event goes until the 26th. So what I am thinking about doing is I'm thinking about waiting until after then, like kind of until November 30th. And if by November 30th, the wristlet is not part of another gift card event or, you know, promotional thing, I'll just buy it and like, you know, not get a gift with purchase, and that's fine. I'll just buy it. But if it is, like, cool, I get an additional gift with purchase. So I'm just waiting a few more days to see if I might be able to score like a gift with purchase or something. If I don't, as I said, I'm perfectly happy to just buy it full price, because it is something I like. I think it's very reasonably priced, actually. So especially for YSL, especially in that color and how versatile it would be, I'm happy to buy it full price. I just want to see, and I don't want to put off the waiting game too long, because it's currently on back order from what I can remember on the Neiman Marcus website. So I want to make sure I buy it before it goes out of stock, or before it gets discontinued or something, because I can't even buy it on the YSL website. Otherwise I would have gotten it there. YSL doesn't even have all the colors that they sell sometimes. So the candy green, I can only buy the Mini Lou in the candy green color on FARFETCH and Neiman Marcus, and I can only get the wristlet in the candy green color on Neiman Marcus. So I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's a little bit of a funny world when it comes to buying colors that you want, but that's, you know, it's how it is. So I'm going to wait until the 30th to buy the wristlet. Please give me your opinion on whether or not I should keep the Mini Lou. Again, I have until next week to make a decision. And if I do keep it, I would do the return and rebuy, but should I keep it or should I just, you know, return it? I'm on the fence. It is gorgeous. I do have other things on my radar though, and I think that's fair to state that I do have other things that I am interested in purchasing. And it's just a lot. I think part of it, and this is a little bit of a rambly tangent, but part of it is, you know, feeling like I deserve to have so many things, especially so many things so quickly, because I have been buying sort of a lot very fast and sort of a lot this year. And that's more than I think I've ever bought in a year ever, really. And that includes buying luxury. I bought several bags, I bought several SLGs, and it's more than I'm used to acquiring. So the fact that I'm acquiring things so quickly just feels a little uncomfortable to me, even though I'm in a good spot, I'm capable, I'm affording this. You know, I had a video recently, Luxury and Judgment, about the shame that we sometimes feel when purchasing luxury, or the judgment that we sometimes acquire when purchasing luxury. I'll link that if you're interested in it. But it is just something that I do struggle with. And so, do I deserve to have this many nice things? Do I deserve to have these things? I'm like, I don't see why not. Like, I'm fine. It's okay. I'm good. But it is something that I struggle with. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear whether or not I should keep it. I'm probably going to make a poll on my channel, so please feel free to participate in that too. It would be super helpful, actually. Just always hearing your opinions is super helpful. I do answer every comment that I can. A quick note though, YouTube has been deleting some of my comments without my permission. I don't know why, and I don't know why some comments disappear. If your comment disappears suddenly, I really do apologize. It wasn't me. I don't know how to fix it. I've contacted YouTube a couple of times now and they have nothing to say. So I do apologize if your comment disappears. Please feel free to comment again. Or also, you're always welcome to message me on Instagram. So, you know, you can let me know what you want to say there. Like, I'm open to all forms of communication. And that's, you know, I really enjoy the interaction on YouTube. Like, that's what I do this for. This is what I enjoy. So I do appreciate every comment that I get. And I do apologize if YouTube decides to rain on our parade by getting rid of it. So I do apologize. Anyway, if you like this video, please do give it a like because it super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more content because it helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.